From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for the debate.
It's the debate at 10. A horrific terror attack. A mourning family. None, it is enough for the Gupkar gang to change their ways. The Gupkar gang will land up for photo ops with the victims of terror, but will not utter a word. Achoo! Achoo, I say, on the terrorists. The Gupkar gang, viewers, will pretend, I say, to care for victims of terror. But never demand all-out operations. Why, can I ask today? Why? Why can a Mehbooba Mufti or an Omar Abdullah say a word against terrorists? Tonight, it is time, viewers, to call their, how do I say, lies out. Their lies. It's time to call them out. It's very important to call them out. Here are the developments, and then we debate today, because Mehbooba Mufti and Omar Abdullah both need to understand that the people of India, the people of Jammu Kashmir can see through their lies now. I say, this Gupkar gang tourism is ridiculous. Is it or is it not, viewers? That's the topic of the debate.
On Friday at noon, PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti trooped to meet the mourning family of slain Kashmiri TV artist Amreen Bhatt. But instead of standing tall against terror, she questioned the encounter in Avantipora, where the terrorists who killed Amreen were eliminated.
हम सब को याद है कि 2 दिन पहले एक टीवी एक्ट्रेस को मारा था. हम लोग तभी से उसको ट्रैक कर रहे थे. उसमें से दोनों मारे. लतीफ़ के डायरेक्शन पर दोनों ने किल किया था. तो जो हमारे लेट जो सिस्टर हैं अमरीन, इनको जस्टिस मिला है.
Mehbooba Mufti said this.
मुझे तो समझ नहीं आती कि हादसा होने के बाद एकदम कैसे ये मिलिटेंट पकड़े जाते हैं या मारे जाते हैं. उससे पहले कौन सा सांप सूंघ गया होता है सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस को कि वो इनको पकड़ नहीं पाते.
Mehbooba Mufti wants to have talks with the Pakistanis who sponsored the killing of Amreen and so many more.
There is an issue, Kashmir is a problem, जिसको गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को जो विद इन द, जैसे वाजपेयी जी ने इंसानियत के दायरे में इसको एड्रेस किया था, एक डायलॉग की पॉलिसी चली थी, जो आज आपके यासीन को जिसको उम्र कैद मिली, उससे भी वाजपेयी जी मिले, LK अडवाणी मिले, एक डायलॉग हुआ, उससे सिचुएशन बेहतर हो गई और खून खराबा बंद हो गया. दैट इज द ओनली सॉल्यूशन.
Dialogue is the only solution.
Dialogue is the only solution.
National Conference leader and former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah decided to do a photo op on his own soon after and shared those pictures on social media to make a point. And then resorted to whataboutery of the worst order.
ऐसे इलाके जिनको हमने लगभग मिलिटेंसी से क्लियर कर दिया था, उन इलाकों में आज दोबारा से मिलिटेंसी नहीं ना. आप देखिए, हम क्या ये सही नहीं है कि श्रीनगर के आसपास के इलाके ये लगभग सारे मिलिटेंसी से क्लियर थे. श्रीनगर तो था ही था, गांदरबल डिस्ट्रिक्ट, लगभग पूरा बडगाम डिस्ट्रिक्ट, इनमें मिलिटेंसी के हादसे होते नहीं थे. आज मतलब लगातार एक के बाद एक यहाँ पे हमले हो रहे हैं.
But this Gupkar gang that strategically decided to hold photo ops today will not echo the sentiments of Amreen's family.
ये आज़ादी है. अगर हिंदू मारेगा मुसलमान हम देखो, मगर ये मुसलमान को मारते हैं, तो यही आज़ादी है. ये आज़ादी नहीं है.
क्या आप इसको कहेंगे कि ये टेररिज्म हो रहा है?
फिर क्या टेररिज्म, तो फिर क्या?
They want turbulence in the valley, but they are being called out for it now.
उमर अब्दुल्ला ने कहा है कि उसको कश्मीर में नॉर्मलसी नहीं नजर आती. मैं पूछना चाहता हूं आज पत्थरबाजी कहाँ है? आज वहाँ पर रोज़मर्रा जो बंद होते थे वो कहाँ है? टूरिस्ट लगातार भारी मात्रा में वहाँ पर आ रहे हैं। इसको कंडेम करना चाहिए कि एक औरतों पर अत्याचार और उसके साथ ही बच्चों पर गोलियां, इस चीज़ को कंडेम करना चाहिए, ना कि भारत सरकार पर और पाकिस्तान के पक्ष में बयान देना चाहिए।
The photo ops won't whitewash the pin drop silence of the Gupkar gang when it comes to terror. Tonight, they are exposed. Let's debate.
Well, absolutely. Let's debate. Because at the end of the day, we need to ask our leaders to the likes of Mehbooba Mufti and Omar Abdullah and Nirmal Singh, former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, sir. Nirmal Singh ji, पूछना पड़ेगा कि नहीं? Omar Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti say, I have Major General G.D. Bakshi joining in. I have Lalit Ambardar, Kashmiri activists. I have Major Gaurav Arya. I have Vivek Shrivastava, Kapil Madan, advocate and political analyst. I have Nasir Khomeini, a national spokesperson of the J&K Students Association. I have Syed Fazal Kashani, spokesperson of the Jammu Kashmir Apni Party, and Javed Mir, social political analyst from Kupwara. मैं निर्मल सिंह जी आपके पास आ रहा हूं पहले डॉक्टर साहब प्रॉब्लम क्या है व्हाट्स द प्रॉब्लम विद महबूबा मुफ्ती एंड उमर अब्दुल्ला बिकॉज आई जस्ट वांट टू कोट one sentences general Bakshi, I just want to comment. I'm quoting one comment of Mehbooba and one comment of Omar. Omar says, what Omar Abdullah says, मैं पुलिस के क्लेम पे कुछ नहीं कहूंगा. मेरे पास वो जानकारी है नहीं जिस इंटेलिजेंस के बुनियाद पे पुलिस ने काम किया होगा और क्या उनकी एनकाउंटर रहा वो पुलिस ही बेहतर जानती है. यू आर रेजिंग अ क्वेश्चन ऑन पुलिस. दूसरा, we are not the tourists coming before this. Before 1996, tourists started coming in 1995, right before the elections. I still remember, he says, the Raja Rani tour started getting groups of tourists to the valley. From then till now, every year, more or less, tourists come. When I was in power, did the tourists not come in 2012? Did they not come in 2013? I am not claiming normalcy, he says. We've been saying nothing is normal. Areas in and around Srinagar used to be free of militancy. Nirmal Singh ji wo keh rahe hain. Now incidents are happening one after the other. There is no justification for such attacks. Former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Nirmal Singh ji, मैं सबसे पहले आपके पास आ रहा हूं. Sir.
जी अर्नब, उमर अब्दुल्ला कौन सा वक्त की नॉर्मलिसी की बात कर रहे हैं? 2014 के पहले की
कपूर बोल रहा हूं जी,
या उसके बाद की जो
जी
हेलो हाँ सॉरी
जी 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 बोलिए
ऐश्वर्या जी
जी जी
वो कौन से वक्त की बात कर रहे हैं
जी?
उमर अब्दुल्ला जी जवाब दें कि जब वो चीफ मिनिस्टर थे यहां पर जो पत्थरबाजी होती थी, यहां पर जो बंद होते थे और पुलिस की गोली से कितने पत्थरबाज मारे गए थे, कितने लोग जो थे जो आम सिविलियन मारे गए थे तब. और महबूबा मुफ्ती के वक्त भी जब जो है बुरहान वानी मारा गया तब भी कितने लोग मारे गए थे, तब पत्थरबाजी होती थी. आज कंपेयर करिए आज से. आप तो
आज पत्थरबाजी नहीं हो रही है, आज जान ली जा रही है सर.
लेकिन होम मिनिस्ट्री आपके पास
जान ली जा रही है, कश्मीरी की जान ली जा रही है.
और आज ऐश्वर्या जी आज ये जो लोग हैं दे आर यूजिंग टेररिज्म, दे आर यूजिंग टेररिज्म एज एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट टू प्रेशराइज द इंडियन गवर्नमेंट दैट यू टॉक टू पाकिस्तान, टू टॉक टू टेररिस्ट, टू टॉक टू these people separatists. Nothing will happen. I will make it very clear. These people, they can't use terrorism, violence as an instrument to pressurize the Indian nation. That's very clear. We are in a proxy war and you see that these people, the terrorists, they are on the run. They are being killed every day. They are changing their tactics.
I want to come here.
Sometimes they succeed. But ultimately they are finished.
Okay, Kashani, give him 30
and
seconds. Give him 30
I'll ask
seconds.
these people, the leaders, the former chief ministers, I'll ask them, why they didn't go to the Rahul Bhatt family? Whether he is not Kashmiri, that whether he doesn't come in the parameters of their Kashmiri, their brand of Kashmirian, why they didn't go to this Saifullah, the police official whose daughter has been injured? They are only doing this photo, this app. That's the tragedy of Kashmir. These are the people who are providing food to this terrorism and separatism. And they are responsible for all these.
Kashani, I'll come to you in 10 seconds. But I have to go to General. Dr. Nirmal Singh, you are raising a very valid point. But General, there seems to be some very specific problem.
From past 2 weeks.
General Bakshi, this Gupkar tourism is ridiculous, sir. Who does Mehbooba want the government to talk to? Who does Mehbooba Mufti want the government to talk to? The Pakistani, a terror state, sir. And what benefit has it reaped us? Ever? General.
You have to talk to your neighbors.
Look, that is precisely the point. Talk to whom?
Calm down. Yeah.
We tried talking to Pakistan. All we got was the Pathankot attack, the Uri attack, and then the attack at, for which we, at Pulwama, the attack for which we had to respond across the border. Whom do we talk to? And talk what? What locus standi has Pakistan? Who is she to invoke Pakistan? Is she a Pakistani citizen? I think we have had enough nonsense from these people. They were supplying stones to the stone pelters. They were orchestrating the stone pelting. She was hoping for a bloodbath. All that the terrorists that can do now is these selective killings here and there. And they are doing it in the hope that the security forces will lash out and, give them fodder for breast beating and crying. The security forces are disciplined. They are doing it in a pinpoint manner. You do an attack and we will put your life on the shelf and it will be just a few hours or days. They killed that poor lady in a most atrocious manner. They killed her nephew and they have paid for it. And the problem is to these people, to Mehbooba Mufti. She is now trying to cast aspersions on the security forces. That is what she has specialized in all this while. She is an outright traitor. I am very sorry to state, this lady is a traitor. She is a Pakistani stooge. She has been facilitating terror in the valley. She has been facilitating stone pelters in the valley.
Then why was BJP in power with them?
That there would be a bloodbath.
Are you trying to say that BJP was in power with the traitor? BJP was in power with the sympathizer of Pakistan?
They tried. Is there any harm in trying?
Don't play this rhetoric here. It is only convincing to you, not to the people of India.
They had to leave.
Have some manners and listen to me.
They had to leave.
Just lower your voice.
They gave it a try.
Just lower your voice.
Their best.
Kashani, come down. Kashani, come to you. Kashani, can you tell the general just let me put him to his size?
It's not a solution.
General.
No, it's not a solution.
Can I have Major Gaurav and this Kashani?
She is the problem.
Can I have Major Gaurav and Syed Fazal Kashani? Kashani.
He's talking nonsense.
Kashani. General, Major. You don't speak to General that way first, Kashani. Calm. Your horse is down. You don't talk to General like that. You respect.
No, I won't let him. I won't let him speak the false narrative. I won't let him create the false narrative. He is misinforming the nation.
What do you want? Calm down, Kashani. Calm down. Major, this Kashani wants us to speak to Pakistan.
No. You need to listen to me first.
You
need to listen to me first. You need to
what benefits have we ever got?
You need to listen to my point.
To this terror state. Major Gaurav and then Kashani. First Major Gaurav and then Kashani. Let Major speak and then I'll come. Please come.
There are Major. I have very quick 2 points and then Mr. Kashani can talk. Mr. Kashani, with your permission, sir, I'd just like to state 2 very brief points.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Number one, he said that, in Ganderbal terrorism was down and Srinagar terrorism was down. During my time, there was very little terrorism in Kashmir Valley. The hotbeds of terror when I was serving there were in Surankot, in Doda, in Kishtawar, in Mender, in Bimbar Gali, in Krishna Ghati, all these places. So terrorism in Kashmir ever since 1989 has been shifting locations. Sometimes it's go to North Kashmir, sometimes South Kashmir, sometimes it will go to Central Kashmir, sometimes even south of Pir Panjal. That is number one. Number two, this is my personal view, and Mr. Kashani can disagree with me. I respect his views. My only view is that these people, these terrorists, they get oxygen from Pakistan. The time when you actually have the Indian army cross the line of control and when Pakistani Punjabi soldiers are killed and their dead bodies are sent to their villages, there will be peace in Kashmir. जब पाकिस्तानी पंजाबी फौजियों की लाशें गिरेंगी और उनके गांव में जाएंगी, जब उनके गांव में मातम होगा, तब कश्मीर में शांति होगी. उसके पहले कश्मीर में महबूबा मुफ्ती और इन सबको कहने का कोई फायदा नहीं है. असल जो जड़ है टेररिज्म की पाकिस्तान है. Let us have dead Pakistani soldiers, then you will have peace. Before that, you will not have peace. आप 30 साल और लड़ते रहो, इनका क्या फर्क पड़ता है? That's all. Thank you. Thank you, Kashani sir. Over to you, sir.
ठीक है. Kashani, and then I'm coming to Nasir and Kapil as well. Yeah.
ठीक है. Thank you. Please give me 30 seconds and listen to my point. My only question is, after coming to power in 2015, having an alliance with so-called, which Major General Bakshi said, the Pakistan sympathizer PDP, the BJP has achieved nothing on ground. The terrorists are getting eliminated, but at the same time, the innocents are getting killed too. And Mr. Nirmal Singh very, emotionally said few lines about Umar Abdullah. I am asking what have they achieved after the abrogation of Article 370? We are seeing killings every day. We are seeing killings every day on the streets of Srinagar, on the Badgam, in Charura, in Gandarbal, everywhere. Not happening before.
वो निज़ामे मुस्तफा के नारे कहाँ गए? वो आईएसएस के झंडे कहाँ गए?
आप अरे innocent lives. Shame on you. Are you trying to say me you are compensating lives on the sloganeering? Shame on you, sir. Have
Dr.
some
Nirmal
shame.
Singh.
You only Dr. Nirmal Singh. The National Party here.
Mind your language. What she is speaking. You cowards. You Pakistanis.
We are cowards now. And you are the bravest because you are staying in the cozy room. You are staying in the cozy room. You are staying in the cozy room. And we are cowards here. Come to Kashmir, sit here and now understand what the situation is. Don't give me this emotional rhetoric. आपसे और कोई उम्मीद भी नहीं है. आपसे कोई उम्मीद भी नहीं है. मैं अगर जहादी हूँ तो आपके हाथों पे खून लगा हुआ है इन मासूमों. Your hands are in the blood.
Kashani,
you are responsible because you are in the power. You are in the power. Have some shame and courage to correct your mistakes.
Beg your pardon. Nasir,
yes, I want to make a point.
National spokesperson JNK student.
Dr. Nirmal, he called us a traitor, Jihadi. If we are a Jihadi and a traitor, then he's imbecile bigot. He's imbecile bigot.
Okay,
he's calling us a Jihadi and a traitor, then he is imbecile bigot who spring venom every now and then. He's saying that
you will never go to the house of Rahul Bhatt.
How many times you visit, doctor? How many times you visit all those who lost their lives from past 2 weeks? Tell me how many times. आप कितनी बार राहुल भट्ट की फैमिली के पास गए? How many times you went to Gandarbal and Badgam to express solidarity and sympathy with those who lost their lives? Tell me how many times. You are just spinning venom and using them as a you are just spinning venom and using them as a scapegoat.
No, it doesn't happen.
You doctor, you are just using these Kashmiri pundits and all these idiots. You are just using them as scapegoats for your political benefits.
You are the people.
Kapil Madan and Sardar.
Tell me what you achieved from past 2 years. What you achieved 2 years down the line. Tell me how many. Tell me what you achieved from past 2 years. Destruction of violence. Tell me one such development which you adopted from past 2 years.
It's a very sensitive issue. Everyone.
Tell me one such development which you adopted.
We need to understand. Traders of wrong people are asked. Please kindly see. Yeah, listen, hold on. I only want Sardar RP Singh and Kapil Madam on it. Kashani and Nasir, if you won't listen, I would have to put your faders down. You need to understand. It's a very sensitive issue. I'm giving everyone time. But you need to let the other side speak as well. If I name Kashani, that doesn't mean he'll continue for 50 minutes. Lalit Ambardar hasn't opened his mouth. General wants to speak. But learn discipline if you can't learn anything else from the general. Please.
Convey this, pass this message to
Thank
Dr. Nirmal and
Kapil Madan and Sardar RP
as
Singh.
well.
One by one. Kapil first and then Sardar.
Aishwarya ji, I would like to begin. This debate.
Kapil,
I would like to share a very interesting data.
Yeah, please do.
If you look at the terrorist incident that happened between 2014 till 2020, there have been 2,546 incidents of terrorist attack. And let me also tell you that we've lost about 481 of our Jawans there in all these attacks. Now, if you ask me a question, who is responsible for all these things? Of course, it is the BJP that is responsible. Who will take responsibility that our Jawans are being killed every day there? The civilians are being killed every day. Now, recently, a boy namely Rahul Bhatt was killed. पिक्चरों के तो पोस्टर लगवाने ये पहुंच गए. पिक्चरों के तो ये पोस्टर लगवाने पहुंच गए. वहां पे इन्होंने लाठीचार्ज करवाया. वहां इन्होंने लाठीचार्ज करवाया वहां पे. Who takes the responsibility of Rahul Bhatt's death? Is it not an intelligence failure? Is it not an intelligence failure that you are not able to save our own people? You are not able to save our Jawans there.
Can I have General reply?
Can
I have General Giri
a police official, namely Devinder Singh, who has possible link with terrorists, was caught. And let me tell you, it was shameful on the part of the government that police officer got default bail. I mean, it is shameful. It is shameful on the part of the BJP government that they could not file a charge sheet in time.
Let Major General speak.
Can I kindly
let Major General reply? Lalit, calm down.
Me.
Thank you. Yeah, Major General.
Look, Aishwarya, let me put this thing in perspective.
Yeah.
The simple fact of the matter is that when I was serving in Jammu and Kashmir from the year 2000 to 2005, I non-stop did 3 tenures. The total number of armed terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir was 5,000 plus. Most of these, 60% of them, were foreign terrorists from Pakistani Punjab and Pathans, and some of them were from Afghanistan, a few sprinkling from other jihadi countries. Today, their number has been brought down to around 120, right? They are therefore following a different strategy of cowardly, targeted killings. There is no security force in the world which can protect each and every of its millions of citizens. Once in a while, they will get through. The change that you are seeing is that the moment they show their hand by carrying out targeted assassinations, within a matter of days and hours, these groups are eliminated, right? These groups are eliminated. That is the difference. You want to know the difference between what has happened after 370 was removed? Very rightly, the number of tricolor flags that you see proudly
Home Minister's
on the Dal Lake, in the Lal Chowk.
Calm down.
Have you seen the scale of stone pelting that used to be there earlier in Mehbooba Mufti's tenure? It's all gone.
Sir,
all right,
Sir, Home
they
Minister
are trying
claims
to
normalcy.
make their presence
Former
somehow
Deputy Chief
count
Minister claims
by
a proxy
coming into
war.
the media
There's a
by
confusion
these
among the BJP
targeted
leadership
assassinations.
itself.
It is a matter of time before these will stop. And I totally agree. Please let me finish. I did not disturb you when you were talking. I did not interrupt when you were talking. Let me finish. I am saying that all this will come to an end when we reopen the line of actual control, reopen fire. It has started already. We have to put counter pressure on Pakistan. Unless you put counter pressure on Pakistan, this will not stop. All right? The solution is not here. The problem comes from across the border. And it is perpetuated by the likes of the collaborators, like you see this lady on the screen.
Sir,
You know, they were collaborating.
Amreen.
They were genuflecting to Pakistan.
Understand that.
We will bring
Mr.
a halt to
Bakshi,
that.
General
and you will
Bakshi.
see it
Understood,
happen.
General.
I will just like to respond
Can
to
I
what
come in?
General
hold on,
Bakshi
hold on.
said.
Kapil, hold on.
I would like to respond to what General Bakshi said. If you say,
Lalit Ambardar and Vivek Srivastava. Lalit Ambardar and Vivek Srivastava, one versus one.
Can I
On air, please. Calm down, Kapil, please. Yeah.
Can
Lalit Ambardar. Major coming. Major, I'm coming to you. Yeah.
So I expect Vivek to have patience and listen to me, then he can give a counterpoint. Let me
he has
brief.
to.
So first of all,
he has to and he will.
They have successfully, these guys have,
no, it is not has to. I will because I respect Lalit.
Derailed your debate because it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So what they have done is they have successfully, these whataboutery guys, apologists have successfully derailed the topic of discussion, that is Amreen Butt's assassination. I just want to give a small background. Please have patience. 1 minute I'll come to my argument. Number one, when Taliban took over Afghanistan, Mehbooba Mufti, Abdullahs and Islamists all across India, they welcomed them. They called them freedom fighters. They appreciated that Kabul has fallen back to Taliban. And what did Taliban do when they arrived in Kabul this time? You know what they did? Nazar Mahmood, one of the most famous actors of Afghanistan, a comedian, a popular actor, people's actor. These Taliban, within a couple of days, they kidnapped him from the home, brutally tortured him, and then he was hanged with feet upwards, his head downwards, and was killed from a treetop. Just a second. And then same thing is being done in Kashmir, and it's not happening now. The dilapidated structure of Palladium Cinema, historical Palladium Cinema in the city center, Lal Chowk, is a symbol, is a monument to Kashmir jihad. Intolerance, pan-Islam is inspired jihad there. And they are not talking about this Asima. This girl, I said, I'll complete, please, sir. I haven't completed my 30 seconds.
No, it's a mismanagement by the Home Ministry.
This girl, this singer, listen, sir, please. And Kashmir, this girl has been killed because she sang. Because she was into music. And I had a panelist on channel yesterday morning, a Kashmiri Muslim who claimed to be journalist.
I blame the Home Minister.
I'll do that, sir. She says,
blame the Home
listen to the audacity of that girl. Sir, मैं बता रहा हूँ मुझे, sir, बोलने दो यार.
Yeah.
This Muslim lady from Kashmir, she's bad she was killed. But it is, as per Quran, music is banned. So this is Sharia, that is an application. Now tell me one thing. When this
let's not be Islamophobic, sir. Let's not be Islamophobic.
Pakistani journalist,
Lalit bhai, ab aap galat ja rahe hain. Aap Islamophobic ho
What
rahe
is Islamophobia?
You are becoming Islamophobic.
Sir, मैंने इस्लाम का नाम लिया. मैंने इस्लाम का नाम लिया. सुनिए, Ayaz Amir ne
this is the narrative you are trying to build up, sir.
Pakistani army, they bombarded North Kurdistan.
See, we are a secular country. Everybody lives in peace.
What Pakistan has on hand in North? Sir,
I can't have war-mongering generals sitting in TV debates
in North
and asking us to wage war on our neighbors.
Terrorists who took
the army is also not qualified to speak on foreign affairs.
You know what is happening across LOC? Brigade 313 has been activated. Brigade 313 is the brigade under Ilyas Kashmiri. They used to exchange decapitated bodies of Indian soldiers with General Musharraf for trophies. Listen,
we need
Kashmir jihad.
to talk to our neighbors. We need to talk to all the stakeholders.
Your biggest fan. Major Gaurav, hold on. Major Gaurav, your biggest fan on the panel today is Vivek Srivastava.
You have to talk to all the stakeholders, sir. All the stakeholders.
It's not Roman. It's Vivek Srivastava. And have you just heard what he said?
Taliban in Afghanistan. Please send him to Taliban in Afghanistan.
Kashani, I'll come to you. Kashani, I came to you first. Please be considerate about others as well. I came to you twice already. Please, I'll come again. Give me 2 minutes. Thank you. Major Gaurav. Major, and then Sardar Sahab, I'm coming to you. Sardar Sahab, I'm sorry. Yeah. Major.
I'll tell you 2-3 things here. I know I heard what Vivek Srivastava said, and I respect his views, and he has every right to put forward his views. He said that you should not wage war against your neighbors, and respectfully I disagree. But I respect Vivek's point of view. He likes peace, and everybody likes peace. I respect Vivek. All I'm saying is that should the Indian army cross over the line of control, go to a Pakistani military camp and kill everybody, you will have relative peace in Kashmir. Regularly keep killing Pakistani soldiers, you will have peace in Kashmir. ये महबूबा ये छोटे-मोटे लोग हैं, इनको बीच में मत लाओ. And Kashmiris have suffered, whether it's Hindus or Muslims, everybody has suffered. Enough and more Kashmiri Muslims have been killed in Kashmir Valley. Enough and more. मेरे दोस्त मारे गए हैं, मुसलमान भी रोया है, हिंदू भी रोया है. जब तक पाकिस्तानी फौज की लाशें नहीं गिरेंगी, ये मामला we are solving the wrong problem actually in Kashmir. जहां से प्रॉब्लम है आप उसको सॉल्व नहीं कर रहे, आप कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे नहीं करनी. यहाँ पे लोगों के मरहम लगाना है. ये भाई हमारे कश्मीरियों को मरहम लगाओ, पाकिस्तानियों को ठोको, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. Talk to Kashmiris, kill Pakistani soldiers, you'll have peace in Kashmir. But talk to Kashmiris, that is the first thing. आप बात करो कश्मीरियों से. आप बात नहीं करोगे तो दिक्कत होगी. बाकी उनको ठोको. That's all I have to say, Ashwini.
Javed Mir hasn't come on the debate till now. Javed, Vivek Srivastava, relax. General, I'll come back to you. Yeah, Javed Mir.
नहीं मेरे को इधर साहब को बोलने दीजिए.
I know you have comments on every time. Hold on. Yeah, Javed. Can I get the audio?
उन युद्ध से
Javed, your audio is mute. Can you unmute yourself, Javed? Can you kindly unmute yourself?
Hello.
Yeah, carry on, Javed. Carry on, Javed.
First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me and giving me the platform to speak me here. I was listening every speaker here from last 10 to 20 minutes here, about 30 minutes. Somebody told here that Amreen was a Muslim, that's why she was killed. Actually, if we see what's happening in Kashmir, these are not only Muslims who are being killed. Kashmiri Pandits are always being killed here. Kashmiri Sikhs are always being killed here. Kashmiri Dogras, everybody is being killed. So everybody is being killed here. It's not a matter of the religion or what my elder brother said here, that Amreen was Muslim, that's why she was killed.
और कोई तरीका नहीं है प्ले स्टोर ऐप हो गया.
Hello.
General coming. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Javed, carry on.
उनको मुसलमान नहीं समझते, उनको काफिर समझते हैं.
Okay, Kashani. Lalit. Yeah, Lalit.
Oh God.
No, Javed, it's okay. I think there's some problem with it.
Let me tell you, Kashmir mein, I salute Amreen.
She was. Sir, listen to me. Have some patience. Listen to me. Amreen was killed. Have guts to accept this. Have guts to accept this. That Amreen was killed. Amreen was killed because of the failed governance of BJP. Because they failed to provide a safer state. Have guts to question BJP. Have guts to question BJP on killing of Rahul Gandhi.
यार किनको मौका दे रहा मुझे तो बोलने दो यार.
I don't want your nonsense on Islamophobic. I won't let you speak about the Islamophobic. You are an Islamophobic guy. You talk nonsense here. Just shut up.
Or you are a jihadi. You bloody, you are a jihadi. You know that. You are defending jihadis. You are collaborators. एक आवाज तुम्हारे मुंह से एक आवाज निकली जहादी के खिलाफ, पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ,
घर पे रोटियां सेकते हो आप. रोटियां सेकते
क्या करूं? ऐश्वर्या मुझे भी नहीं बोलने दोगे.
सरदार आरपी सिंह मुझे नहीं बोलने दोगे.
ऐश्वर्या मुझे नहीं बोलने दोगे. मैं नहीं बोलूंगा. I am quiet. मैं बंद.
There is one rhetoric. Nirmal Singh ji, I'll come to you. Nirmal Singh ji, I'll come to you. Lalit ji, I'm coming to you. Lalit ji, I'll come. Calm down.
Nirmal Singh and Mr. Nirmal Singh's claim is contradicting.
Kashani, calm down. Otherwise, I'll put your fader down now. You can't speak for 50 minutes. Kashani, calm down. I'll put your fader down. Come back.
Major Gaurav has said that we can talk to Kashmiris. There's no problem. But we are not prepared to talk people across the border. Terror and talk can't go together. And then Mahbooba has a problem. She is the one who said, let's have two currencies. Let's have two currencies. Let us have porous borders. It was she who said, let's have two currencies, let's have porous borders. So she has been towing the line of
Pakistan. But they counter by saying that was you who went into the government.
She has been
but they counter. Sardar RP Singh, they counter.
I'm
You
very
give
clear, and I'm saying
Vivek
it on the call,
Srivastava
that there
all
will be
the
no talk
ammunition.
with Pakistan
You give
till that
Nasir
time they
the
stop
ammunition.
terrorism.
Yes.
They stop cross-border
Sardar RP
terrorism.
Singh, you gave Nasir
Give
the
peace a talk,
ammunition.
sir, and warmongering is not good
Sardar
for
RP.
anyone.
But calm down, Vivek.
Neither
Can I have
Pakistan
Nasir
is a
there,
very
yaar?
developed
What
nation,
is
neither
happening?
us.
Can I have
And
Nasir
war
there?
doesn't suit either.
You gave
Don't
Vivek and
compare-
Nasir the
don't
ammunition.
compare us with
When
Pakistan.
you went
Don't
into the
compare us
government
Pakistan.
formation,
Pakistan
Sardar RP
weaker
Singh, are you able to
खड़ा
listen?
होता है.
When BJP
जब
went into an
Pakistan
alliance
said
with the
begging vow
PDP,
in front of the world.
Sardar Sahab, can you listen? Sardar
No,
Sahab,
no,
can you
they
listen?
have been into alliance
It's
with
not done.
everyone.
Like-
ये तो साहब
Sardar Sahab,
उमर
when
अब्दुल्ला
you-
साहब के alliance में थे, महबूबा मुफ्ती के साथ भी
Sardar,
alliance में
can I
थे.
have-
They
can I
also
have
made Farooq
Nasir
Abdullah
Khomeini on
minister in
air?
the Vajpayee government.
Can I have Nasir on air?
So why?
Nasir and Sardar
Why?
RP Singh. Vivek Srivastava, you be quiet.
When they
It's on the
have,
lips
when
for
they
you.
have already
Because if you
collaborated with
Lalit Ambarwal
everyone,
is
why are
already
you
angry.
calling them back today?
To Gilani's house.
Sardar RP Singh.
What happened?
And I think Farooq Abdullah is
Sardar RP Singh.
Farooq Abdullah is not an anti-national. Farooq Abdullah is not an anti-national, sir. You are victimizing
Can you
him today because
understand
it doesn't
what
fit
I'm
into your
saying?
politics.
One
Gilani's
versus.
house.
Farooq
Sardar RP
Abdullah
Singh.
doesn't fit into your politics.
Can you answer
so
my
you are
question?
victimizing him.
Vivek Srivastava down, fade it down.
Conviction of
Vivek
Yasir
Srivastava,
Malik
fade it
is also
down.
not right.
Fade it down. Fade it down, Vivek Srivastava. I don't want
I'm not
Vivek
disagreeing.
Srivastava on air. Do you understand this? Can I have Nasir on air? Now. Thank you. Sardar RP Singh, can you tell me this? You gave Nasir, you gave Kapil Madan, you gave Syed Fazal Kashni and Javed Mir the ammunition when you went into an alliance with the PDP. They say you may raise questions on them now, but it was BJP who made an alliance with the PDP. You broke out, yes. But then they say, didn't you know about them earlier?
We wanted
Sardar
to
RP Singh.
give peace a chance. And then when we saw that she's not towing the line of the country,
When you
she's
failed.
towing the line of the people across
When
the
you
border.
failed.
We
It took
withdrew.
you almost
We withdrew back. It was
four
us
years
who
to
withdrew back.
decide whether Mahbooba is a pro-Pakistan Muslim protester or not.
Her supporting the stone
almost 4
pelters.
years.
Her supporting the stone pelters.
It took you
Supporting
almost 4 years.
the overground terrorist network.
It took you almost 4 years to decide whether Mahbooba Mufti is a pro-Pakistan sympathizer or not.
So what? So what? We took a call. We took a call. We took a call. And we took a
4
right call.
साल लगे आपको देख whatever Kashmiris are suffered, but the way families are being devastated, killed.
Kashmiris are suffering because of Nehru,
with each passing day.
General and Dr. Nirmal Singh, calm down, calm down. General and Dr. Nirmal Singh, Dr. Nirmal Singh. Dr. Nirmal Singh, I'm coming to you quickly, and then I'm going to General, because then General have it, and then General will take them on. Dr. Nirmal Singh, you're the former Deputy CM of Jammu and Kashmir. How do you counter this? How do you counter this claim? They all fingers point towards you. They say that BJP is responsible. You ask them any question. They take a 360-degree turn and say, it's BJP. You ask them anything. They say, it's you. You ask them anything. They only say, it's you. Dr. Saab. And then General, please.
Ashwarya, because they know that it's BJP who has called their bluff. They are responsible. The root cause, that is 370, that has been abrogated. Their Jamaat-e-Islami has been banned.
I want to make a point, Ashwarya. I want to make a point.
Irrelevant. And these people,
hold on.
please
Let him
listen.
complete.
And these people who were speaking against the country, they have been taken to task. And Yasin Malik, other killers, they have been punished. And you'll see that those who are behind the bars, they shall be also be taken to task. They shall be punished. Rule of law is there. And there is one government at the center. And our honorable Prime Minister, we are implementing the law. We are implementing the Constitution, about which these people, they cry. So that's the reason that they can't face. They can't face these moves because they have been countered properly. We are countering this as a proxy war. We have isolated Pakistan in whole of the world.
Nasir and then General.
Nasir
is commenting. Nasir and then General. Nasir quickly.
Let me tell you one thing.
Nasir quickly and then
Dr.
General.
Nirmal is calling 370 as an achievement. Tell me one such development which took place in Kashmir post 370, except death, destruction, killing, devastating families. You see from Rahul Bhatt to Amreen, the things are going from bad to worse, and central government left no stone unturned in order to trample democratic norms and constitutional traditions of this country. Whether it is 370 abrogation or detaining political workers or political representatives. Tell me one such development which happened post 370 here, from roads to buildings to other sectors. Tell me what they did from past 2 years. 2 years, you see 2 years down the line.
General.
We abrogated 370 in order to
General and then Major.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dr. Nirmal Singh, after 2 minutes.
Can I kindly
Dr. Nirmal Singh,
say my 2 pennies?
Thank you, General.
Thank you.
Please, General, please.
You know, look, in the quest for peace and tranquility, you have to experiment, you have to reach out to all shades of opinion, you have to experiment, and the ruling party had no choice but to do that experiment. They experimented with Mehbooba Mufti. It is only when she proved to be dangerously treacherous. No one has tried to sabotage the Indian state as much as she did, that they had to break that alliance. They had no option. You can't blame them for trying. Okay? Now I totally and completely concur with Major Gaurav Arya that the problem lies across the border. The solution will have to come across the border. I do not know for what reason we went soft on Pakistan, and
no, that is where you are wrong, sir.
The pressure we were putting across the
have roots in our own country.
Can you kindly wait your turn? We stopped putting that pressure, and at a very long strategic time. That is when Pakistan was trying to install the Taliban in Afghanistan. We went soft on Pakistan. We went soft on the line of control.
This is not an army state,
trans-border raids.
This is not an army state.
This is a democracy. Air attacks across the border.
Elected government decides the policies of the nation.
They would not have dared do this. After we had hit them in Uri, after we had hit them after
both the countries are suffering, and we need to sit and tackle it together.
A year and a half.
Kapil, hold on.
That is the ground reality. Your shouting
both the nations need to sit together and tackle it.
You have
only, thank you very much. Lalit and Kapil. Let Lalit speak and then Kapil. Thank you very much. Sardar Harpal Singh, I'm coming. Major Gaurav Arya, I'm coming. Thank you.
And consequence.
On one condition, that I will not be interrupted.
Lalit Ambardar, that's what I'm saying. First you speak and then Kapil. Thank you. Yeah. 1 versus 1, please. Yeah. Carry on.
Listen, there is an attempt, I see there appears to be an attempt to secularize Kashmir Jihad. You know, when it began in militarized form in 1990, what were these people who say the Hindus bhi mar rahe hain, Musliman
I'm coming to you after this.
क्या कर रहे थे आपके पड़ोस में जो 2 घर हिंदू थे उनका रेप और मर्डर होकर निकाल दिया गया, आप क्या कर रहे थे, कहां गए हिंदू आपके मोहल्ले में जो थे. दूसरी बात, you must know where Mehbooba Mufti comes from. Her party document PDP is self-rule. On top of the self-rule is the agenda, joint management of control over Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh with Pakistan. Double currency will apply in Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan and India. IAS and IPS will gradually reduce because Pakistan se rishta kya la ilaha illallah. They wanted to have wider distance between Delhi and Srinagar, but come closer to Pakistan. That's why. And I say with confidence and with responsibility. Vajpayee ji was about to commit another Himalayan blunder that they had been started with Jawaharlal Nehru. He said, you know what he did? He said, hum padosi nahi badal sakte. That was the first surrender. If you say that you're not going to change your neighbors, that means you already surrendered. And when there was peace, so-called peace, it was a strategic lull. Indian government was being goaded to bend and compromise on Kashmir. They were wanting to see how much India could. Now again, about this Amreen and Mudassar, JK Jammu Kashmir Army Police Jawan, my hero, they are being killed because they represent India. They have association with India, not because they are Muslim. If it was
Afghanistan
Taliban,
point taken. Kapil and Major Gaurav Arya. Kapil and Major Gaurav Arya.
Who is killing whom in Syria?
Kapil and Major Gaurav Arya. Yeah.
अरे ललित जी हो गया.
Kapil Madan.
So So I will make a very short point here. General Bakshi said that they tried with Mehbooba Mufti, the experiment, they wanted to talk, and therefore there was an experiment. So let me go back in Mr. Vajpayee's era. So late Mr. Vajpayee, he started a movement that was called Insaniyat, Kashmiriyat and Jamhuriyat, and with that kind of a mindset, a dialogue was initiated. During that time, we have enough evidence on record that suggests that, Vajpayee ji also had discussion. There was a dialogue with separatist leaders also. And PDP had the same. PDP had the same ideology. So given the fact, that in fact, the dialogue was started by Vajpayee ji, and when the government was formed with PV, then it was a dialogue. Now, if
you guys have gone in history.
is having a same,
you guys have gone in history.
No. Let me respond. You can't rewrite the history. Let me respond. No. It's unfair. Ashwarya, it's unfair. Ashwarya, it's unfair. Ashwarya, it's unfair. Unfair.
Kapil, calm down.
It's unfair. You don't let me complete. You gave 2 minutes uninterrupted to Jalal Bakshi, to everyone, to Lalit.
Security, can it happen? Have you ever held accountable for
Ashwarya,
terror?
Then why you have an alliance? Why would you have an alliance with a party that has this kind of an agenda?
Kapil, relax. That's right. They had to answer. But I'll come to Dr. Nirmal Singh. But Major, all these so-called Sardar RP Singh, you have to answer. You will. I'll come in a minute. But Major Gaurav Arya, can these leaders do 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute without their security? For their photo ops, they go. But their soft corner for Pakistan never ends, they say. And I say, when this tweeting system of Mehbooba Mufti, she says visited Amreen Butt's family, shocked to know that no one from the LG administration has bothered to visit them. Major.
All these people were there, my Kashmiri brothers were there and other people also, who were asking from accountability, asking accountability from the BJP, that BJP is responsible and they have every right as citizens of this country to ask for accountability from their government. And I cannot say that they are wrong, they are right. I would also like to add that we must not forget who was the Home Minister of India when terrorism started in Kashmir in 1989. It was Mehbooba Mufti's father. When Burhan Wani was killed, 3,500 CRPF Jawans were admitted in hospital due to stone pelting. Who was the chief minister? You see, so
can
all
we
these
talk
things.
about
Yes.
post-abrogation?
Sir, please, sir. I have been asked a question by the anchor, and I would request you, sir, if I can answer. So I'm saying that, yes, you have every right to ask for accountability, post or pre, does not matter. You can ask for accountability, but my request is, ask for accountability from everybody, including BJP, including PDP, including National Conference, everybody. कटघरे में खड़ा करना है, सबको करो, बराबर से करो.
बिल्कुल.
Kashani.
I have a point.
And then
I have a
Dr.
point.
Singh. Yeah.
Dr. Nirmal Singh in the beginning mentioned that we are in proxy war. Sir, with a humble request, it's my humble request, please tell me, whom should I believe? Should I believe the Home Minister who claims the normalcy, or should I believe the former Deputy Chief Minister who claims that we are at a proxy war? Because there's a confusion within the leadership, and this is the result of the failed governance.
Kashani, question over.
Failed to provide us a safer and secure state.
Nirmal Singh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. No, you asked your question, Kashani. Now, calm down. Now, let him answer. Thank you.
Ashwarya, I will tell this gentleman that nobody said that there is a complete normalcy. Nobody has said this.
The Home Minister has claimed time and again.
We are defeating terrorism.
Kashani, now calm down.
Please listen. Nobody has claimed that there is a complete normalcy. But we are fighting this proxy war. We are defeating terrorists. You see that during 2022, more than 70 terrorists has been killed. And you'll see that whoever
talk about civilians. Talk about
killed
civilians.
Amreen, they shall be finished very soon. Secondly, I'll tell that people, they are questioning our alliance with PDP. As somebody was mentioning about Atalji, we tried to give chance to a peace. We tried to give chance to the peace. Modi ji went to Nawaz Sharif's house.
General, I'm coming to you.
He invited Nawaz Sharif to his oath ceremony. We tried to give
Ashwarya, I want to make a
chance to
point, sir.
peace in Jammu Kashmir when there was such
Yeah, very, very
mandate.
limited time.
We
No, no.
allied
Okay.
with the
30 seconds, 30
the
seconds.
PDP
30 seconds, Nasir,
to give,
carry on. 30
to
seconds,
give
Nasir, okay.
peace a
30 seconds,
chance.
Nasir.
To give
Let
peace a chance.
Nasir and Sardar Arpi Singh.
बातों के भूत बातों से
Nasir
नहीं
and Sardar Arpi
मानते.
Singh, yeah. Let it hold on. Let it hold on.
Ashwarya.
Go ahead, sir.
See, Dr. Singh's statements, it is itself a contradictory. Home Ministry is saying one story and Dr. Saab is telling us a different story. Basically, they have nothing to tell about the
I don't have time for repetitive.
We are trying to settle the situation much better than what it was before Just no issue. But proxy war is still on. Proxy war is still on. Let's admit that. And proxy war has been on since ages.
Coming, Lalit, hold on. Coming, Lalit. Come.
And let me, Ashwarya, give me another 30 seconds, please. Let me make it very clear. The root cause of the problem has started with Pandit Nehru, who went to UN and said, let's have plebiscite. Mrs. Gandhi stumped down on the negotiation table. When we have 90,000 prisoners of war with us, we could have finished the Kashmir issue forever. We could have taken Pakistan occupied Jammu Kashmir also. Then thereafter,
BJP and
Lalit Amreen. Okay, Sardar Arpi Singh. Okay, Sardar Arpi Singh. Lalit Amreen. And then Major General, and then Major Gaurav. At last, 30 seconds. Lalit, 30 seconds, please. Please, 30 seconds. Ending comment. Lalit Amreen. Lalit Amreen on air, please. Can I have Lalit Amreen?
Ashwarya, 2 points.
Lalit Amreen. Thank you, Sardar Arpi Singh.
Ashwarya, 2 points.
Yeah,
I
30 seconds, Lalit, please.
I want Mr. Nirmal Singh not to feel embarrassed. Because it was none less than Narendra Modi himself who described the alliance with Mehbooba Mufti's PDP as Mahamilawat. So please call that. As I said, we have been committing blunders after blunders. But after 5th of August 2019, which was a momentous day, the process has begun to dismantle Islamo-fascist ecosystem. The process has begun to dismantle it. It's a 70 साल पुरानी बीमारी है, वक्त लगेगा नहीं. लेकिन जब तक आप कश्मीरी हिंदू का नरसंहार officially acknowledge nahi karenge, they will keep on mocking our genocide. So I request BJP please acknowledge and establish it.
General, 30 seconds. General, ending comments please from you.
Including Mehbooba Mufti,
Vivek, I'll come to you. Yeah, General.
And Abdullah.
Okay, Lalit, thank you. General. Okay, Lalit, thank you. General.
None of them is shouting us.
Lalit, thank you. General.
None of them, because their rishta Pakistan se kya hai.
Ending comments, 30 seconds.
एक आदमी नहीं बोल रहा है.
Okay, Lalit ji, thank you. General. Lalit, please now. General.
Lalit, just 1 minute, Lalit.
Yeah, General.
Look, Aishwarya, please understand the situation of that time in the valley. There was a split verdict. Jammu had given a different verdict. The valley had given a different verdict. There was no option but to try and explore a kind of a unison to set up a government. But rarely has any party behaved like the PDP in such a treacherous, such an anti-national manner that this experiment had to be stopped forthwith. And thank God we did it in time, because nobody has done more to resuscitate terror in the valley than Mehbooba Mufti. We now need to ignore her, and we need to now
Major, last 10 seconds.
Step up the
General,
pressure
I'm sorry, I have very, very
on
limited time.
Pakistan.
General, sorry. Major Gaurav Arya, 10 seconds, ending comments. General, kindly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, General. Major Gaurav Arya, 10 seconds, ending comments.
Ashwarya, tell the Indian Army to cross the line of control, walk into a Pakistani camp and kill everybody. End of story. You will find peace in Kashmir.
Oh, they'll do it like how? Oh, they can. They can, and they can. But I'll only say to everyone on the panel that the question should be asked to Mehbooba more. I'm not surprised when Vivek, I'm not surprised when you say this. But my only problem to you is, Vivek Srivastava, and I'm saying it in the last ending comments which I should have summed up. But you, please wait for your turn to come. You will get more time to speak. It's a friendly suggestion, Vivek. Thank you so much, viewers. That's the time I have on the debate at 10. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.